G'day, g'day. Happy Wednesday, guys. Hope you're doing well. I'd normally be doing a midweek market meetup in the Ash Trades Discord this morning, but it's got a little bit of a couple of things happening at home, so I just not sure if I'm going to get interruptions during that stream. So I won't do the stream today. We may be able to do it tomorrow. We'll see what's happening. But I'll be able to get this review done and uploaded to YouTube. So I've decided to do it that way today. Shouldn't have any interruptions throughout this recording, hopefully. So let's start where we always start. That's the calendar. And we have no news today. So a quiet day on the news front. Potential for maybe some consolidation during New York session today. Waiting for news tomorrow. But we'll see what happens. Let's jump over to the charts. So if you're going to trade today, I wouldn't trade or look to take a position until after 9:30 open, just on account of the fact that we obviously have no news. There's no volatility injection until we get that open. First, I wanted to actually start with just a quick discussion on bias. Now, for those of you who follow me or follow Ash, you would have seen yesterday that we had opposing views on bias. So Ash, his idea was that we were moving lower, whereas my idea was that we're moving higher. And I'm just going to reference NQ. Now, bias is used to frame an idea. There's no right or wrong here. The market closed lower, but ran higher during New York Open. So the idea is that you form a bias that gives you and frames an idea of taking a trade that is either a long position or a short position. And that's all we need to take that trade. We form a bias that frames an idea, and then we look for our entry function and take the trade. And if we have a look down at the 5-minute, you'll see here that on the 5-minute time frame yesterday morning, so here is New York Open. This is the New York Open. This candle is our breaker. So you're able to, with a bullish bias, grab a position that reached 2R for a long bias. You are able to get a trade that played. Now, the only thing I'd say with this trade, and I'm just using this as an example, that this was a valid entry. Obviously, the size of this candle, including the wicks, is quite large, so you need to look at your risk. Okay. I know some traders might only look to take the body with a candle that's so large with the wicks included. And obviously in this instance, that would have been a more optimal trade because there was very little drawdown. So you could have got a 5-minute entry for a long trade right at New York Open. Now, that was using the long bias. And if we drop to the 1 minute, we'll see that there was a short position that presented. So here, again at New York Open, you get, this is your breaker. Here's your displacement through. There's the pattern we look for. Here's your FVG aligned. Entry the breaker, stop above the breaker. Now this trade doesn't actually quite reach 2R. Okay, but with the volatility in the market that we've been experiencing the last few days, you've got to take profits when you are given them. So don't think you have to have a hard, firm 2R. That's it. I'm only going to 2R and nothing else, because you will see good profits turn into losses. Be an independent thinker and take your profits when they are given to you. You know, at 1.6 here, you're looking at 100 points or 408 ticks. If you were on 1 mini, that's a damn good trade. You take your profit and you go and call it a day. So I just wanted to have a quick chat about bias, that there is no right or wrong. The bias is there to form an idea to get you into a position. So what you want to be doing is you want to trust in your idea. Trust if your bias is different to mine or it's different to someone else's, that's okay. Because we're using that to frame an idea to enter a position. Okay, let's get on with it. Let's check out NQ and see what we're thinking for today. So we ran these lows. Price reached up into this gap. And it actually did reach up further from my original analysis yesterday. It reached up into this gap a touch more through the morning, and then it sold off in the afternoon. Now, I'm still looking to see price move beyond this close, yesterday's high, and potentially reach equilibrium of this gap. I'd like to see price continue to move a little bit higher, see how we react to that level, and then anticipate that we might move lower from there. So I'm going to remain bullish today on NQ. Let's go and have a look at the hourly structure. can see that we still have not completely filled this opening gap. So I'd really like to see price be able to push through that. Interestingly, on the structure here, it does look like we're in a bit of a range. And if we were to trade the extremes of the range, we've come back to equilibrium every time. So I'd really like to see price break out of this range. We do have lots of low resistance liquidity residing on the other side of price. We had a continuation breaker here. Which has been respected. So this breaker has been respected. That's a breaker with an FVG aligned. There is a tiny FVG in here. And obviously we have this larger one in here. And if we run our projections out of here, we can see that there's a target area of our -2 to 2.5. Nicely aligned with the midpoint of this low resistance liquidity. Breaker has been respected. We had our change of state of delivery down here. There isn't another change in state of delivery. So when you're bullish and you already have a bullish change in the state of delivery that we have down here, looking at these areas, for example, you wouldn't call that another change in the state of delivery because we already have one. Okay, so we're on the right side of the curve here. So you don't have another one. You would get a change in the state of delivery if we broke structure to the downside here. That would give you a negative change in the state of delivery. Okay, so hourly structure, I still like the idea of being bullish. I'd really like to see price push out of this range. We're currently respecting this bullish breaker. So let's see if price has a willingness to move higher. Let's jump over to ES. We have that bullish SMT at the lows here. And ES still has not reached into this gap. So I'd like to see price reach up into this area before looking for a potential reversal. So bullish on the daily for ES. ES had this nice bullish breaker here, unlike NQ. There was a SMT at the lows here, also a bullish SMT. We had displacement through the breaker, and if we mark the midpoint, we can see that price has respected that and continues to do so. but we're also in a little bit of a range here. ES still hasn't reached into this gap. Oh, it did by a couple of ticks there. So I'd like to see price show a willingness to move higher and move above this gap. Still needs to rebalance this gap. And we're respecting bullish PD arrays. Let's see here that we'll continue to respect bullish PD arrays. And we also have low resistance liquidity on the other side of price, high resistance liquidity on our side of price. So remaining bullish on ES. Let's jump over to CL. So yesterday we did start to get that move lower. As we pushed out of this internal. I'd still like to see oil move lower here to our external liquidity. You know, it's had quite a bullish move today, but that's not to say that we don't reach this level, sweep yesterday's high, and then push back down. So I still like the idea of moving to external here. So bearish on oil. Let's drop to the hourly. Oil also stuck in a bit of a range. Got these equal highs, relative equal highs, respecting this bearish PD array. We're at that same level again right now. It'll be interesting to see if this inverts this FVG. Just looking to see a change in the state of delivery. Should likely be this level here. So it would be a bullish change in the state of delivery. This is the leg that swept liquidity. The price has respected that level. So price stuck between PD arrays at the moment. So I'd be sitting neutral on oil. For our structure. So it'll be interesting to see how oil plays out. Does it have a willingness to move higher here and get a close above this bearish FVG? Therefore, continuing to respect this bullish change in the state of delivery. And if that were the case, looking at our sweep here, we've got these, you know, essentially highs through here that align really nicely with the -2 to 2.5. So structure is starting to lean a little bit more towards bullish, which doesn't align with my bias. So I wouldn't be looking to execute on oil until I get an alignment of bias and structure. Okay, Dixie. All right. So we completed our move from our, we swept our external. That's right. We swept our external. Sorry about that. So we're moving from external to internal, and we completed that move. We've reached into internal now. So from there, I'm looking to move external. So we move back down to here. So bearish bias for Dixie. Let's drop to the hourly. Large gap here. Hasn't been tested yet. Got equal highs running through here. Which may act as a draw. We don't have a change in the state of delivery yet. This would be the change in the state of delivery should we get it. I'd like to see price close below here with displacement. Price is currently respecting bullish PDRA here. So it's wicked into this bullish FEG. So it's still reasonably bullish on the hourly structure from our reversal down here. We had our breaker here. Bullish change in the state of delivery was down here. Okay, so where have we ended up on our projections? So price has reached to the -1. Okay, so we'll just see how price decides to react today. We've got relative equal lows down here for a draw. So just to recap on that, we're just looking for daily bearish bias, looking for a change in the state of delivery on the hourly to align with that. Let's go over to gold. Okay, here we are on the daily. So price was moving from internal and we're looking for external. Price continues to move in that direction. I'm going to remain bearish on gold. We see price respecting bearish PDRAs, continuing to do so. Another one here, price wicked into. We still have this low resistance liquidity as a good target. I think price may get there and clean that up. We have high resistance liquidity on our side of price. We've created more high resistance here, here, Excuse me. So looking for price to push lower. We have a breaker here. Clear that up. A breaker which price is respected as well. We obviously get a nice push away here. And if we were projecting from here, then price reached to the -2. This area is usually a place of consolidation or retracement, and it has retraced away. But again, these bearish PD arrays are still being respected. So the structure is still bearish. And if you look at the curve, we've had our reversal, consolidation, expansion, consolidation, and then I'm looking for continued expansion. Or another leg of expansion. Okay, let's go and have a look at Euro. Same idea as yesterday, still applies. Swept external. Looking for price to move to internal. So nothing changes there from yesterday. Let's take a look at the hourly structure. This would be our hourly breaker. High, low, higher, high, lower, low, displacement through. Price has continued to respect that. That's also change in the state of delivery once we break that level. And if we project from here, from the high to the low there, that swing point, we have low resistance liquidity, nicely aligned with the -2. We'll also have these relative equal lows through here, which can act as a nice draw as well. So bearish for Euro USD. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. Just remember, it's quite volatile at the moment, so trade patiently. Adjust your risk accordingly. Be safe. We've got unemployment claims tomorrow, so there's an opportunity to expedite some evals if you're so inclined. Apex, you can use code Jimmy. My Fund of Futures, likewise, you can use code Jimmy to grab those evals, and you will get max discount. Guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great Wednesday, and we'll catch you tomorrow.